Some damn enchiladas.
You gonna get it, bitch.
Ooh, baby, ooh, baby, ooh, baby, ooh, baby.
What is up, everybody? I hope you can hear what I hear, even though I don't hear anything because I don't have my headphones on. But hopefully you can hear me. Welcome to Horror on Tap. I'm Jordan Decker. If you are here watching, you probably know who I am. Or you could be one of the 9 or 10 new subscribers that Leanna got to sign up just yesterday. So thank you very much, Leanna. Much appreciated. So anyway, I am 1 year into Horror on Tap. This is my first live stream, so hopefully shit's working. Let me know in the chat if you can hear me. Looks like you can. Perfect. I've got the chat up here on the screen, right there. So I can see what you're saying. You can see what I'm saying. Something like that. I don't know what I'm saying. So yeah, it's been 1 year today that Horror on Tap has been a thing. So I figured what I would do is go through the movies that I have watched for the first time on this channel. And that's kind of what I anticipated doing with this channel from the get-go, was starting watching classic horror films that I had never seen before. Now, I've got mine ranked from number 10 to number 1, and I went back and I actually only had 10 to begin with. So it was pretty easy to pack them all in. So, I think the first thing I want to do is say thank you to the people who have made this channel possible, people who have become subscribers, people who have been hanging out with me in other chats, other rooms, other channels, things like that. So, first thing I want to do is let's just have a very brief little celebration. And here is what we're going to do. Okay, so these things are kind of hot. And this is probably a bad idea to do this inside. Got sparks flying at my face, and it's halfway there. It'll be done soon. Whoa! Sparks flying all over my shit. I'm gonna burn the house down, but don't worry, I came prepared. I do have a fire extinguisher right next to me. All right. That's about enough of that. Oops. Hang on, I fucked up. There we go. Sorry about that. I knew there were going to be some technical difficulties. That is to be expected, especially, you know, your first time. It's just like sex, you're going to suck at it the first time. So, apologize for jumping to the end there. I hit the wrong button. So anyway, I guess the next thing I really need to do before I go too far, I'm going to take a quick little scroll through the chat, see who is here. We've got Leanna, of course. I expected you to be here. Again, thank you for all those new subs you got me just yesterday. Michael Dammit, how you doing, Michael? Let's see, Dino, you're in the chat. I think I see Brett Patrick. Glad you're here, Brett. Keep going, keep going. Pat, that Halloween movie collector, the man himself. Glad you're here, Pat. Good to see you. So the next thing really I got to do before we jump into the top 10 here, I got to show you what I am drinking.
What is he drinking? What is he drinking?
So I've actually got a bunch of stuff I'm going to be delving into, probably not way too much just because I do have to get up in the morning. So the first thing I've got right now is from Other Half Brewing. This is Green City. It is a double dry hopped hazy IPA. This place was rated the #1 brewery in New York State by mybartender.com, and I found a bunch of their stuff at my local Wegmans. They've got like a whole end cap refrigerated unit. It's all Other Half. And now this brewery, if I'm not mistaken, they make like 220 different beers or something like that, and they're all unique. So let's just crack that bad boy open and give a cheers to 1 year. That is good stuff. Pop that off. It'll be a little quieter in here. Alrighty. Well, let's take a look. We'll jump right in. So, number 10, Black Christmas. Now, this was one that I kind of knew a little bit about. I knew, it was going to be a killer in the house. It was like that old excuse me, that old the story about the caller in the house. I mean, there was like a scary stories to tell in the dark or something like that way back in the day that had kind of a similar story. So that was about all I really knew. But pretty decent movie. I haven't gone back and watched it again. In fact, I don't think I've rewatched any of these except for maybe one. So yeah, we'll move on to number 9. We won't be here super long tonight, guys. I don't want to keep everybody. And of course, being your first time, again, just like sex, you're probably not going to last that long. So number 9, we've got House. This was one I believe that Brett Patrick mentioned to me. And he was like, yeah, given, your house and your living situation and everything, I thought you would really like this film. And I had never even heard of it, I don't think. It was a fun movie. I remember the practical effects in this movie were insane. Like they were so good. And overall, like the movie felt like a lower budget film, which I'm sure it probably was. But it really was an entertaining film that I just really didn't know much about. And remember, who was it? George Wendt was in that one. And when I'd watched this film, I was recording the episode when he passed away, just by chance. So it was kind of just awkward timing, I guess. But fun movie. Definitely fun movie. So number 8, we've got Prom Night. Yeah, Prom Night. Again, that was one that I really didn't know much about it. And going into it, I figured it was going to be a whodunit, especially given the poster. Just look right at the poster, you can kind of tell, it's a mass killer, but not like a Michael Myers, Jason Voorhees kind of crazy killer. It was it was going to be somebody in the film. I had no idea who it was going to be or anything like that. And then the reveal at the end was I wouldn't say you saw it coming, but there were hints, of course, and some pretty cool kills in that film. So that was one I would definitely go back and watch that again. I just haven't. I haven't had time to go back and rewatch pretty much any of these. I think there was one that I rewatched, but we'll get to that here shortly. Moving on to number 7. Scanners. This was another one that I didn't really know exactly what it was about, but I had a little bit of an idea. And of course, the the very infamous head explosion scene. I had seen that before. There's memes and stuff of it everywhere, and gifs or gifs or whatever you want to call them. So I kind of knew about that, but that was really all I knew about it. Um, and oh, having a brain fart here. Michael Ironside, he's a great actor. I haven't seen him in a lot of movies, but one thing I remember him very specifically from wasn't even a movie. It was a video game. It was Splinter Cell. He was the voice of Sam Fisher. Yes, Leanne exploding heads. Exactly. You get me. You know. Where was I? Oh yeah, exploding heads, scanners. Um, yeah, Michael Ironside, great actor. He was also in what was that? The Next Karate Kid. Not the greatest film in the world, but anyway, yeah, Scanners, fun movie. Yeah, fun movie. You're gonna get a lot of that because a lot of these were just really fun movies that I'm kind of bummed it took me so long to actually sit down and watch them. So this one here coming up had a really interesting scene in it, and that is Reanimator. And you probably know the scene I'm talking about if you have seen this film. Uh, the Hey, what's up, Murdy? Good to see you. Thanks for being here, buddy. Eli, I see you in the chat too. Don't want to miss you. Um, yeah, Reanimator. The scene with the head and the naked woman on the table. I kind of knew that was coming, but as far as the rest of the movie, I mean, I had a general idea it was going to be a reanimation, of course, based on the title, based on the poster, things like that. I didn't know exactly where it was going to go, but I figured it would be, kind of the human version of like a Pet Cemetery type of thing, where you knew somebody was coming back, and they were probably going to be, super evil, and they were going to be a killer and all that kind of stuff. So, need a sip. That's pretty much what you got, and then it was all like experimentation and stuff like that. So that was a good movie. I want to go back and watch that one too, especially just for that one scene. I could watch that scene over and over and over. This next one, I think, got a lot of I don't know. I don't think it was as well received as a lot of people. Well, I think a lot of people didn't receive it as well as I did. I thought it was really great, and that's why I've got it at my number 5, and that's Wishmaster. And the actor, I always forget his freaking name. What the hell is his name? Andrew Devoff. I thought he was great in this role. That was he did such a good job, and like he's got that really deep voice that it's hard to mimic. Like you can't really fake that. Be careful of what you wish for. Super deep. Like I wish my voice was naturally that deep. Sometimes it gets that deep when I'm like really dehydrated or really drunk. Then sometimes it just sort of rolls that way. Yeah, Leanna, that was one that I didn't really. It just kind of popped up. I forget how I came upon it, but it wasn't something that I really was like, oh my god, I got to watch that one. But it was something kind of in the back of my mind, um, that I'd heard of, but I knew really nothing about it. And then him being the Jinn, which that was something I didn't know what the hell it was. Kind of devil like character that he would he would grant you wishes, but the way he did it was really fucking weird. Like if you wish to be wish to be famous, he would like stuff your soul into a TV where everybody could see it. Weird shit like that. But it was cool. They did it in a really good way. And yeah, who just said somebody there right there? Michael Dammit. Yeah, the great Tony Todd. Yeah, he was in it. Kane Hodder, Robert Englund was in it. Yeah, they had a really good cast for that one, which is crazy because I feel like that was and not a low budget movie by any stretch of the imagination, but I mean it is a Wes Craven film, things like that. I don't think it was meant to be like one of the big, huge box office smashes, but speaking of, this is one that was definitely not a box office smash, and one I just recently watched for the first time. But it's a cult classic. I think everybody who's seen it loves it. The effects and everything in this one, terrific. John Carpenter's The Thing. This was 1982. Yeah, this was one that I just did a video on this, I think last week, and I was like, I can't believe I've never seen this film because it's been out there for forever, and it's one of those films that I feel like if you're, a big horror fan or you're a big John Carpenter fan, you've definitely seen this, and I hadn't seen it. So I was kind of like, I've got to get this one done, and I was waiting to find it somewhere for free, and I think I finally did. I think that's why. Excuse me. I think that's why I finally did sit down to watch it because a lot of these, you can't find them for free anywhere in full, or if you can, it's been uploaded on YouTube for it's in like 480p, shit quality. You can't really tell what you're looking at, and then of course, trying to do screen grabs and things like that for making a video and doing editing and everything. It's yeah, it can be a real pain in the butt. So I finally did find that one, and I was curious about like what John Carpenter meant when he said, "I know I'm the only one who knows the real identity of the thing." And I figured it was more like one person in the background or one person in the movie that was the thing and kept like body jumping and things like that, but I didn't quite know where the movie was going until the very end, and then I understood what he meant by he was the only one who really knew. So um, I guess I still don't know. So number three, this was actually the first one that I watched, and this was a nod to the Slaughtered Lamb movie podcast because they were kind of a driving force in getting me going. I think I'd mentioned it to them, and Darren kind of got in my case. He's like, "Yeah, you've been talking about this shit for like a year. When are you ever gonna do it?" I was like, You're right. I really got to get up, shit or get off the pot." So my very first episode 1 year ago today. Whoop, clicking on shit everywhere. I told you there were going to be some technical difficulties. There we go. An American Werewolf in London. Yeah, this was one that I didn't. Again, I didn't know anything about this movie, and right at the very beginning, you get the two guys walking through. Well, they're in the back of that pickup, and they get dropped off to start their hike and everything. And the guy who's driving them says the opening line. Well, it's his line that Darren and Frank always use for their sign off for TSL, and I was like, oh shit, that's where that comes from. And then of course you get into it a little bit later, and they go to the Slaughtered Lamb, the bar, and I was like, okay, things are starting to add up here. Things are making sense. And that was one that when you get to the transformation scene where he turns into the werewolf for the first time, I mean, you can just sit there and watch that on replay for 5-10 minutes just back to back because the way they pulled that off was amazing. Like today, I don't think you could do that in such a practical way. Like nowadays, it would all be CG and AI and all that shit. And it wouldn't look real at all, and that looked so damn good. The way like his feet and his hands like start stretching out, and then his face stretches out into the nose. Yeah, you can't beat that. It was amazing. So Uh, that was definitely one I had to dive into early on, and again, that was kind of a nod to TSL for kind of pushing me along. So, uh, kudos to them for not just letting me sort of sit back and drag my feet. Now, to be fair, when I first got into it, all I had was a laptop that when I bought it, it was actually it was marketed as a gaming laptop, but then it really wasn't. And plus, it was only like I don't know, maybe $700, which for $700 you're not getting a good gaming laptop, not even goddamn close. So I started with that, and it just wasn't good enough. It didn't have the power and everything. So I had those. I had some personal issues going on at the time, so there was a lot that kind of delayed me a bit. So anyway, always big thanks to Frank and Darren, who are conveniently not in the chat, bastards. I kid. I kid. But we can do this just in their in their absence. Okay. Anyway, moving on to my number 2. Christine. When I first sat down to watch this movie, I was like, okay, it's a movie about a haunted car. Okay. I'm not sure I'm gonna like this, but I'll sit down and watch it. And lo and behold, I mean, it is number 2 on my list here. I really like this one. We all know what stretching out means in your world, Decker. Yeah, thanks, Murdy. I appreciate it. Was it better than Teen Wolf? Yeah, I think so. I think so. Yeah, yeah, I thought this movie was going to be kind of dumb, to be honest with you, but they developed the characters really well. I thought they were believable as characters. The actors were great. Oh, what was her name from um yeah, Alexandra Paul from Baywatch is where I recognized her from. I didn't I didn't remember her from anything else. I don't know if I've ever seen her in anything else. And then she was in this, which is it was kind of weird because she was like the hot one, whereas in Baywatch she was the flat chested one that all the guys didn't want. Kind of a 180 there. So, but she looked really good in this movie. She's really pretty, really cute. Cannot complain about that. Also, I also just noticed that my whole chat thing here didn't really work. I just now noticed that, so maybe I will get rid of that for the time being, and we will move on to my number 1. I told you, I said there were going to be some I'm having a technical difficulty speaking right now, in fact. So let's move on to my number 1. And that is Psycho 2. Yeah, this movie, I figured this movie was just going to be kind of a rehash of the original. Uh it was 22 or 23 years later after the original, and I thought for sure, he's gonna get out of the cuckoo house, whatever he's in. He's gonna come back. He's gonna start having these same thoughts and everything of his, being his mom and everything else. And then it was just gonna be a rehash. But the way they wrote a whole new story, and I really liked that they didn't just do that and kind of rehash the original. Meg Tilly, she was great. I thought she was a great character. Of course, Robert Loggia was in this one too. With with um, with Anthony Perkins coming back after so many years, I I didn't know what to expect at all, and he nailed it. I kind of wonder how tough that would be to come back and reprise a character after 22, 23 years. You know, he was a pretty young man in the first one, and then this one, I don't know exactly how old he was, but um, you know, quite a bit older, and you know, he really just nailed the character again. So um, I thought this one was fantastic. I really wasn't, you know, wasn't looking forward to this one either. I mean, I love the original. I think we all do. When I sat down to watch it, I was like, all right, you know, we're just gonna get the same shit. But it was awesome. I loved it, and kind of that twist near the end. You know, you find out what exactly is happening. I won't spoil it for anybody who hasn't seen it, but I would definitely recommend it, and that is why it is the number one movie on my list. So let's do that. So yeah, I'm gonna take a quick peek at the chat real quick, see if there's anybody in here that I haven't seen yet. I gotta give, you know, kudos and props to people who have channels that they keep up with the chat while doing what they're doing on their computer, trying to get through everything. It's tough. It takes a lot of going back and forth and everything else. So yeah, Psycho 2 is incredible. Yeah, great. Yep, Dean, I agree. Murdy, Psycho 2 is superb. Leanna, oh yeah. Oh yeah. Uh, Michael says he was 51 in Psycho 2. Damn. Yeah, I mean, he looked pretty good for 51, you know, especially after being in the nut house for 23 years. I mean, I know he wasn't really, but the character anyway. Yeah. Yeah, it looks like we're kind of caught up through everybody here. I wasn't exactly expecting a big crowd or anything, obviously. You know, like I said, first time, a few technical issues, which I expected. I will work on those for future streams. Thing is, like right now, the only thing I'm using for the stream is OBS. I looked into Restream. I looked into StreamYard. StreamYard, I think might be something I get into in the future if I'm going to keep doing a lot of lives, because you can really do a lot more with it. It's a lot more user friendly. You can bring people's chats right up on the screen and everything, which you can't really do with OBS. It's got its limitations, and it's really not user friendly. Everything is you got to do it every step of the way by yourself. There's um, really no like preloaded stuff, and nothing like adding the chats and everything like that. You know what I mean. To me, you have a great voice. It's better than my whiny Irish accent. I don't know about that, Murdy. I think people could listen to you probably a lot longer than they could listen to me. Like I said, like, as I get going, you know, my throat's drying out a little bit, so I'm getting a little raspy, a little deeper. But I got to keep, you know, sipping a little. You know, I brought a whole bunch of beer in here, and I'm not going to get through any of it. Hell, I'm only a few sips to this one, but that's another thing. When you're the one actually doing the stream and everything, it's hard to stop and take a drink or get up and go to the bathroom and all that stuff, because you're kind of tied up. Now, I have also gone to the bathroom on a live chat with some people who I think are actually in the stream, and popped it right up on my phone, chatted from the toilet. Sometimes you just got to do what you got to do. Do they have 4K, Dean? I was looking at the well, originally I thought Restream was going to be cheaper than StreamYard, and what it turned out to be was it was just like their kind of their entry tier. Whoa, that was a good one. It was kind of their entry tier level of their paid program, and when I compared that to the lowest level of StreamYard, StreamYard was actually a lot closer to the second tier of Restream, and StreamYard was actually a little bit cheaper. Not a big amount, but I mean, you're still looking at like, I don't know, $430 $30 or something like that for the year, which if you're using it all the time, it would definitely be worth it. Now, OBS is 100% free, and for right now it's working. So I'll probably just keep using this for a little bit, and then maybe I'll do what somebody else I know did and put a like a QR code like up in the corner or something. You can Venmo me. Something to help fund the channel. I probably won't do that. But yeah, my channel is not monetized. It's not funded. I mean, I've actually put thousands and thousands of dollars into the setup I've got. I actually just bought a new desk that should be here this week because the one I've got, it's just packed with shit. You know, I've got double monitors. I've got a laptop. I've got two mice. I almost said mouses, but I bought this one here too. Maybe a couple weeks ago. It's a vertical mouse. I don't know if you've ever seen one of those. It literally sits upright. If you've never used one, it takes a little getting used to, but when you're sitting here like doing editing and stuff, it takes forever. Or doing all that stuff and then using a regular mouse, your hands like cramp. So it's like, like liar, liar. It's like the claw. You can't stop the claw. So I got this vertical one, and it really helps. It turns your hand a little bit, and keeps you limber for later at night. I've got that one, and then I've got another one for my laptop. And then what I'll end up doing is hooking up a second keyboard for my laptop, so I don't have to like reach way over to use that keyboard. Much bigger desk. It'll be out, I think, another like 15, 16 inches, and then it'll be L-shaped, so I'll have more room over here. That'll be cool. That'll really help out a lot. So, but anyway, yeah, I bought a gaming PC back in, I think, December, because without that, I can't even run all this software and the hardware and everything. Just running it on the laptop that I've got just was not working. So, yeah, definitely put a few bucks into it for sure. My camera, for example, that was, I think, 500 right there. I've got lights and shit everywhere. A lot of stuff in the background. I mean, nothing in the background. I didn't buy any of that specifically for the channel, but like, like this mask right here, Michael's mask from Halloween Ends. That was like almost a $300 mask right there alone. But that was more for, I got it for Halloween, and I use it as a, it's like a collectible item. If you're a big Halloween fan, like I am, like most people I think in the chat are, it's just one of those things. If you have it, you're gonna love it forever. I mean, not forever. I know those things tend to rot after about 20 years or something if you're not keeping it like well covered and stuff. So, pull the mustache hair out. See, that's one reason why I like to usually take beer and pour it out of a can into a glass. But yeah, that just plucked a hair. That always kind of stings. So yeah, camera looks good. Awesome investment. Yeah, thanks, Dean. It's weird too with OBS. The output of it, for some reason, I don't get this. I'm not a real big technical guy. It'll only output to the resolution that your monitor is. And both my monitors are only 1080p. Now I've got a 4K camera, I've got a 4K capture card. And for OBS, the highest resolution it'll do with a 1080 monitor is 1080. So either got to get a 4K monitor or switch over to a expensive program. So either way, it's going to cost some money. And I see Bill the Everscade is in the chat. How are you doing, Bill? Good to see you. Thanks for being here, buddy. I do not have your intro like Pat does. I will add that to my list. I will put it in the programming for next time. Be sure to remind me. I'm dumb. I forget everything. So I will absolutely put that in there. Looks really good. Okay. Yeah. Thanks, Dean. Yeah. And also with OBS, there's a lot of like technical aspects in it that you can change and mess with. And I pretty much just left all that shit alone, because I didn't know what I was doing. There's way too much stuff in there. So, yeah, I pretty much left all that crap alone. So I will kind of keep poking around and see if there's anything as far as programs that are a little more user friendly and have better options and things like that. See if I can look into that. Davy Death Race in the chat. Hey everyone, congrats, 1 year. Appreciate that, Davy. Yeah, you were kind of a an early pusher for me too. You know, similar to TSL and all that. So yeah, I think I'm about to wrap it up. I don't think I have too much else to really do here. Yeah, I do want to just throw out a few thanks real quick. Obviously, I've already said Frank and Darren from TSL. They were kind of an early driving force for me to even get started. Um, Pat, the Halloween movie collector. Sorry, I'm a little phlegmy right now. Pat, the Halloween movie collector, and Brett Patrick from that horror movie podcast. Of course, they've been right along. Um, they've kind of helped encourage me a bit here and there, and I've been a supporter of theirs for a while too, so there's that kind of that mutual respect between us. Bill, of course, you're in the chat. You as well, you've been a friend, and kind of encouraged me a little bit. I mean, not as directly as some of the other people early on, but you were right there, and you hop into my videos and watch them and comment and things like that, so always appreciated. And of course, I got to mention Leanna. She went and got me a whole bunch of new subs just last night, and we are reaching or approaching 100 subs, which is it's a start. I mean, for a channel that's been around for a year, I think I've only done like 30 some odd videos total, so not that many. And of course, I did go on a hiatus there for a few months when I was really having like technical difficulties and had to get all sorts of new equipment and stuff just to make it work. And for me, there's a lot of I take a lot of pride in getting the technical aspect of things right. I like to I like to do the detail work, and using effects and just timing and getting things synced up between audio and video, and there's just so much goes into it, and I just wanted to try to do it right. And of course, it's like anything else, you have to work at it, and you'll get better and you'll get better and you'll get better. Like just coming into this stream today, I spent probably 20 minutes just walking up and down my hallway, just pacing back and forth, like, don't fuck it up, don't fuck it up, don't fuck it up. And I knew, of course, I would have, a hiccup here or there, and, found a couple, but no big deal. We kept on trucking along. See, Coy is in the chat. Happy Sanjo. Good to see you. Glad you are here, buddy. Thanks for joining in. Let's see. Well, yeah. Oh, yeah, thanks, Bill. I figured this would be perfectly fitting for the first stream, of course. So, and anybody who doesn't know that story, maybe I'll tell it at one point. It's a funny story. Maybe I'll do a short and post it to the channel in upcoming days. Kind of let people know what exactly the whole TriStar Pictures story is for me. It's it's a funny one, and honestly, I think just telling that story was something that got me sort of on the in with Pat and Brett, because I think I had them laughing so goddamn hard. They were like, we have to talk to this guy outside of the chat, and then we ended up becoming much closer friends through group chats and things like that. And I've been down to Pat's house, and we've hung out and hung out in his marital bed and things like that. Not really, I'm kidding. That did not happen, I promise. Yeah, shit, his shirt shot. That's another good story right there. That's another clip that we need to put it somewhere for everybody to see. The whole shit, I mean shot. That was great. That was a fun stream. I'll just put it to you that way. So yeah, shits all around. Yeah, I wish I had something to do some shits with, but I mean, I've got some vodka in the fridge, but I'm not going to get that. Just take a little sip there. And so, yeah, I think, yeah, females only. You know it, Leanna. So I think that's going to do it for today. I mean, 40 minutes or so, 41 minutes. Not a bad start. Yeah, if or when I go live again, which I'm sure I will, I just need to figure some shit out and take it from there. Sanjo, yeah, Koi, I've got this is from Other Half Brewing. They're actually out of I think Brooklyn, but they've got a satellite location, probably like an hour and a half from me. But yeah, I can get their beer pretty locally. This one's called Green City. It's a double dry hopped IPA, a hazy IPA. This is like their flagship beer. If you can ever find this stuff anywhere, I highly recommend it. I think they're branching out all over the place because I think I saw somebody had it. I can't remember who, but then I just saw down in Washington D.C. area, Maryland, Virginia, um, this radio show that I listen to pretty much every day. One of their producers from the show, who's like a co-host, posted something on Instagram where he had a can of one of their beers. So I was like, damn, they're getting all over the place. But yeah, that brewery was rated the #1 brewery in New York State. So highly recommended. They've got a billion fucking beers. Actually, I think they have like 200 and something, but it's a lot. Uh so yeah, yeah, look forward to hey, yeah, appreciate that, Davey. Yeah, hopefully we'll oh, did I just hit it? Awesome. Beautiful. 100 subs. Well, we'll hit the celebration music again. Have another drink. I already turned the lights that I had. I turned them off. They've got these fans in them. They're super loud. Those were also another really expensive purchase from a couple years ago, but they were for Halloween, not for this. So anyway, yeah, I think that's going to do it for today. 45 minutes. Getting Snyder Man, right on time. Oh, I misread what you said. I thought you said get in the gym. I mean, you're right. I mean, I got nothing. No guns here. Yeah, not really. Yeah. When I flex, it actually goes the other way. So keep on lifting there, Cody. Keep on lifting. Appreciate you hopping in for a moment. So yeah, anyway, let me make sure I know what I'm doing here. And then, yeah, I think that's going to be it. So yeah, thanks to everybody for hopping in. Yeah, I'm going to say thanks again for being here, for supporting me. Everybody who helped me kind of get things going and have been, been viewers and subscribers and to new subscribers, things like that. Yep, glad you're all here. And I guess I'll just say it. Tune in next time to find out what's on tap. Cheers.